The temperature today, 30 degrees cooler than it was here just 1 day ago. But the change from Mother Nature has not kept the fans away. It's sold out as always here at Nashville Speedway, USA. The Bellsouth Mobility 320, presented by Ericsson, is live here on TNN Sports. Good afternoon, everybody, and for the final time ever for a NASCAR Busch Series race, we welcome you to Nashville Speedway. This racetrack, which has been hosting motorized racing events since 1904, says so long to the Busch Series today. The brand new Nashville Super Speedway set to open in time for racing here in 1 year's time. But today, it's typical short track racing. You'll see the NASCAR Busch Series stars spending half of the race today cursing under their breath at the other competitors. The other half of the race, they'll kind of be apologizing under their breath to the other competitors. That's what short track racing is all about here in Nashville. But before we delve into today's story, let's take a few moments. We'd be remiss if we didn't look back at the memories of two very special gentlemen who passed away earlier this week. One is John Rollins, the founder and chairman of the board of Dover Downs Entertainment. He died on Tuesday. Under his leadership, Dover Downs International Speedway and the entertainment company growing into the fine company that it is today. And of course, also earlier this week, three-time NASCAR Winston Cup Series champion Lee Petty passed away. The winner of the first Daytona 500 passed away at the age of 86. And of all the things he did in his career, maybe some of the most remarkable numbers, the fact that 80% of the time he finished in the top 10 in all of the races that he ran. Buddy Baker, as per usual, with us on the telecast today. Buddy, you had the privilege of racing for Lee Petty and Petty Enterprises. What kind of a man was he?
Well, he did it all on the racetrack, and he's a very private man. He didn't talk much. I can share one story with you. When I went to work for Petty Enterprises, he told me if Richard's leading and you're running second, and you take Richard out near the end of the race, you don't have to call Randleman to find out whether you have a job or not. He was that type of guy. He did it on the racetrack, did it all. But when he stepped aside, he turned it over to Richard Petty. Richard Petty won 200 times. Then Kyle came along. He backed Kyle. He stayed in the background. A lot of people never heard of Lee Petty, but he was a true pioneer and a hero to me.
And, of course, the Petty name continuing on from Richard to Kyle. And now another Petty joining us here in Nashville today. He's with Randy Pemberton. That is a look at Adam Petty, who, along with everybody else here today, carrying a sticker on board his race car in memory of both Mr. John Rollins and Lee Petty. Adam Petty started in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series at Texas. He's got a top 10 start here today. Right now, though, we are set for our national anthem. And, of course, anytime you come to Music City, why not bring out one of the very best singers there is from Asylum Records, Brian White, with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
A fine racing fan, Brian White, who was with us at Rockingham a season ago, with us here at Nashville Speedway, USA. Now, let's go back pit side, where Glenn Jarrett is going to take a look at some of the other major stories of the day. Glenn?
Well, thanks, Eli. You know, Clifton Cuckoo Marlin started the Marlin family tradition of racing here at Nashville Speedway, USA, and then he was followed, of course, by his son Sterling of Winston Cup fame. Well, Sterling's son Stedman started racing here in 1997 at the tender age of 16. Stedman Marlin is in today's Busch Series field. He starts way at the back of the pack in 42nd position, appropriately enough, in car number 42. But all the way up at the other end of the field, there's a young man who's trying to start his own family tradition here at Nashville, and that is Casey Atwood. In his 2 previous tries here, he has finished second. This is his 3rd race here. He has won 2 pole positions. There's nothing that this young man would like better than to bring this home in first place for a win in front of the hometown fans. What about it, Casey? You got the car to do it today?
I think we definitely do. You know, we've had the car to win at the boat last 2 times. It just didn't work out, and you know, it's going to be a tough race. Keep all 4 fenders on the car, and don't burn the brakes up, and stay up front all day, have good pit stops, and hope we'll be there at the end to run for the win.
Well, good luck to you. Hope we talk to you in victory lane. I tell you guys, if anybody knows their way around here better than Casey Atwood, there's very, very few in this field that do. This young man is destined to win here at Nashville, USA.
The engines have fired down on the pit lane on the command of Doug Davidson, a fan who was chosen through a contest here in Nashville to serve as Grand Marshal. When we come back, the starting grid and the green flag for the Bellsouth Mobility 320. A 39-degree reading off the thermometer. The wind chill, that is correct, 13. And, Buddy, here yesterday it was nearly 80 degrees. What does the change mean to these racing teams?
Well, the one thing, they set the cars up in much warmer conditions. Right now, I don't think they'll get the grip that they had. And I also think that it makes the tire a little more, it skids a little more because it does not have the heat in the racing tire itself to hold tight as they go through the corners. So right at first, they'll have to walk very softly around the corners.
Checking out the numbers pertaining to today's Bellsouth Mobility 320 presented by Ericsson. 43's the number in the starting field. Lots of top teams went home. We'll show you the DNQ list a little bit later on. One thing is for sure, though, today, Buddy, 7 NASCAR Busch Series races already this year. They've all been run by Winston Cup regulars. That's not going to be the case today. The Winston Cup guys are in Martinsville.
Exactly right, and I'm glad of it. I think some of these guys are relieved a little bit not to have to race against the Mark Martins and the Jeff Burtons and the Winston Cup guys that are taking all the first places up to this point. But let me tell you, these guys are capable of beating them on any given weekend.
Let's take a look at the starting grid now for today's race, so you'll know exactly who's who this afternoon. The man who won the pole a couple of years ago and has finished second twice in a row here, Casey Atwood. Tim Fedowa was third here back in '97. Veteran Dick Trickle. Chad Chapin knows this racetrack well. Todd Bodine currently second in points. Tennessee's Jeff Purvis. Texas's Bobby Hillen. Jeff Green, he's third in points. Adam Petty, a 4th-generation driver. Mike McLaughlin, Ron Hornaday, he's currently the top rookie. Tell you something, the Rookie of the Year class this year, Buddy, it's an outstanding one.
It is that, and, you know, in all, racing is really, really in a good state of mind right now. We have a lot of great talent. You see Bobby Hamilton Jr. there, a very young driver from this area. Mark Green, he also raced here. All these guys have the potential of moving up. Jason Jarrett has the potential of being a star sooner or later. And right now, all he needs is laps and time on the racetrack.
Elton Sawyer with a drop snout car for the first time here. Justin Labonte, that's Terry's son, starting in row number 16. Lyndon Amick, Ricky Hendrick, Hud Strickland. Driver change there, the number 82, as Derek Gilchrist takes over. We'll talk more about some of the changes this week in the NASCAR Busch Series. Then back further towards those who are in on the provisional starts, including Tony Raines. Kevin Harvick, who is right now battling for Rookie of the Year honors, sponsored by Ray Bestis. He's second in rookie points. And there, Blaze Alexander, Stedman Marlin. And making his 6th start is Anthony Lazzaro for the McDonald's racing team. We've got Stedman Marlin giving us a ride around the Speedway. His NASCAR Busch Series debut. I wonder where the trade-off point is, buddy. Your debut in this series, but it comes at a racetrack that you know as well as the back of your hand.
Well, I would just have to say you'd have to look back at Casey Atwood. The first time he raced in Busch Grand National here, he finished second in the race here. So you just have to believe that the knowledge of the racetrack has to be on Stedman's side. Jason
Schuler, he'll be giving us a ride around the half mile here at Nashville Speedway, USA.
You usually see Matt Kenseth in this car, and Schuler will be driving this car on several events this year, so they tell me he's got great potential.
Outstanding young race car driver. There's Magic Shoes. Mike McLaughlin will be giving us a lift around the racetrack today. Of course, he's a good one. Remember a couple of years ago when he had that big accident in practice, had to go to the backup car and goes to win the race? Remember that?
Actually turned over right where he's weaving back and forth here to get heat in the tires. Got upside down. They brought the backup car out, and he just did everything right.
And the veteran Jeff Purvis also allowing us to hitchhike around the half mile with him here this afternoon. Now, as far as pitting is concerned, Randy, this is known as an abrasive racetrack for tire wear. That and fuel. What are we looking at as far as pit windows today?
Well, it's going to be about 80 laps, Eli, and if you listen to some of these drivers, particularly a guy like Dick Trickley, he says, you can pay me now or pay me later. What he means by that is the fact that you don't want to abuse these tires too hard, too early. You can run fast early, but you may abuse the tires, or you can run fast later, or you can set a nice, steady pace throughout the run. But expect them to pit around 80 laps. They've got 3 sets of tires in the pits here today, and hopefully they'll use 2, maybe all 3 sets. Glad, Jared?
Well, thanks, Randy. I'm down at Todd Badine's pit, and Todd will start 5th today. He's got a fast race car. He loves this racetrack, but Todd is feeling very, very poorly today. Got a very severe chest cold, a lot of head pains, a lot of chest aches. He said he just didn't feel good. His eyes are watery and blurry, so it might be a tough day for him. But I tell you what, when you got a fast race car, sometimes that's the cure you're looking for.
What's the worst you ever felt in a race car, buddy, as we take a look at the guys who did not qualify?
Well, you know, Glenn made a good point. A great race car, that's the best medicine for a race car driver. He gets out there and starts running for the lead. He'll forget about all his ailments. I started Rockingham one time with 102-degree temperature, though.
Really? You see on the flag stand now the NASCAR officials, plus the gentleman in the green hat, who is going to be our honorary starter today, Larry Tamples, who answered a trivia question on a local television show here and has earned the honor to be the honorary flag man here today. Storylines today, well, there you see. The number 74 team, Base Motorsports, making a decision to put things on hold. They release P.J. Jones. He hooks on as the driver for the 19 car. He and Jamie Skinner will split that responsibility this year. We told you Derek Gilchrist taking over, coming in from the ASA to take over the chores of the number 82, replacing Dave Steele. The Wayne Grubb team kind of regrouping, and we're seeing more of that, buddy, this year.
Well, the pressure to win is just astronomical right now, and you really have to do your best or they replace you. And unfortunately, a lot of great drivers are being moved out of good race cars.
320 laps, 190.7 miles around the half-mile Nashville Speedway. Glad you're with us on TNN Sports.
Still there, clear. Outside, outside.
Let the cursing and apologizing begin.
You're exactly right. Casey Atwood right now neither has to do either one. He just got a great jump there. Tim Peterwatt got off clean in second. Back in the back though, you can see it's a war. Jeff Purvis and these guys are going at it. Riding with Jeff Purvis looking directly back, and you can see it's already 2 by 2 as they go down the front straightaway.
The blue and green, number 37. That's Kevin Grubb. The 8 is Bobby Hillen. Number 3, Ron Hornaday. There you see everybody scrambling off towards turns 3 and 4. Now looking forward from Jeff Purvis's machine.
That's Jeff Green just in front of him, the track champion here years past.
Just underway if you're tuning in. We are live at Nashville Speedway, USA. 27, Casey Atwood, the leader. 36, Tim Fedewa in second. Fedewa has finished as high as third here in his career at Nashville Speedway.
3 wide as they come down the front straightaway. Ron Hornaday in the 3 under Bobby Hill, and they're 2 wide now. Little contact there. Adam Petty in the 45 as they come off turn 2.
Early going here. You see him get on the flat entering the corner, then they kick up on the banking just a bit. 45 in the middle of your screen. That is Adam Petty. That scramble is from 9th on back. 77 Chad Chapman up front. He's in 5th. Dick Trickle. Behind him, Todd Bodine just ahead of him.
See Jeff Green in the 10 there in 4th place. Now moving up to give Trickle a good run here as they start through the corner. Trickle's got a good line around the racetrack, but Jeff Green has many more miles than Dick Trickle on this particular speedway. Jeff
Green, Mark Green, the whole Green family, David Green, they have got, as you say, from their days, trouble in the middle of the back straightaway. The one is Randy LaJoy coming off the corner. He spun, continues around, but they are going to throw the caution to check the racetrack out. Randy LaJoy, who said to me this morning, man, I want one of those guitars, he said. They give away a guitar as the trophy for the win here. He spins, though continues, and brings out the first caution. He has dropped back to 38th position. The leader is Casey Atwood, just underway here in Music City, USA. First caution of the afternoon, 9 laps in here in Nashville, Tennessee, as Randy LaJoy spins off turn number 1. Tough to tell. It didn't look as though anybody touched him at all. Let's take a look at it again, buddy, from the onboard view.
Okay. You can see Randy just go way out there. He lost the back of the car coming off turn 2, and in that part of the racetrack, he was very, very lucky. He didn't get collected by the cars just behind him there.
Randy, the drivers are quick to accuse other folks. Does LaJoy think he got spun or what?
No, he wasn't quite sure. All he knows is it snapped around on him, and then they're trying to make a determination as to whether or not he had a tire going down. They did hit pit road. They changed all 4. The crew members are all over those 4 tires right now. They have not found one yet that they thought was going down, but you know, I'll tell you what, they run these things at such low air pressure, even on a cold day like today. It's quite possible he just didn't have the pressures up and he lost it.
You're exactly right, and that's why you see guys being very careful the first few laps, Randy. It's when they're out there, they start about 8-10 pounds low on the air pressure, and until it builds up, it runs like you're on a bag of worms.
We're about a lap away from going back to green. Let's check in with Glenn.
Well, guys, one of the last things that you want to see if you're a guy that's got a good race car in the back of the pack like Randy LaJoy is a caution early in this race, because now the field is strung out single file. And as the leader now is going into it, starting to exit turn 2, Randy LaJoy at the back of the pack is just now going into turn 3. So you're over a half a lap behind when the race restarts green here. That's a lot of ground to make up. If you got this many race cars on a racetrack this size, you can get behind in a hurry.
The leader is Casey Atwood. Tim Fedewa will restart in the 2nd spot. You've got Todd Bodine going 3rd. Chad Chapin will go in 4th. Dick Trickle 5th.
Got to pass to the right, remember.
You hear the spotters talking with their drivers as we come to green.
Pace cars off. Get ready. Get ready. Green flag, green flag.
And back to work here in Nashville. After an early caution. Everybody making a move inside the 55. Michael Rich got caught to the outside. You see Napa bringing you the rundown in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. And don't forget, folks, you can enter Napa's Thanks a Million sweepstakes for a chance to win $1 million.
Eli, one of the most consistent runners all year long has been the 3rd place car of Todd Bodine. He really stepped up this year. Been very, very good in his Western Cup efforts. Also had a top 10 in Atlanta and the unsponsored car, the little Joe car, and he just is right now coming into his own. Todd Bodine is a very gifted race car driver.
They have really been doing well and dialing their cars in as the day has gone along. The longer the race has gone consistently, the better Todd has done this season. That is he in 3rd place. Meanwhile, you watch Dick Trickle inside of green. That's going to be a battle for 6th, but Dick could Now back, look at that. Lazaro in the 97. You've got 2 for Harvick. All of this near the back of the field. Blaze Alexander in the 81. All of these teams battling for position. Back 36, 37, 38, 39th position.
Justin Labonte in the 44 there.
Look at this seconds ago. This battle way back for position. Watch what happens here. Harvick's that car number 2.
Oh, contact. Harvick got hit pretty well there twice.
Anthony Lazaro making his Nashville debut in the NASCAR Busch Series. He was there to try and make sure nothing happened. The leader is Casey Atwood. He's had the top spot from the get-go. Back in a moment. For the NASCAR Busch Series, we are live here at Nashville Speedway, USA. The leader is Casey Atwood. There you see a good battle between the 66 of Todd Bodine and the number 10 of Jeff Reed, who might be one of the quickest cars on the racetrack. Conversely, Dick Trickle, when we broke away for commercial just a minute ago, he was running in the 6th spot, and Trickle has now backslid all the way to 11th. And does not show as though the car is getting off the corner very well. Ron Hornaday, though, is in the 3 car. He and Adam Petty with a good scramble.
Well, I think you have to keep your eye on Hornaday because this is the same team, basically, that took Steve Park. He's always run very well here. Earnhardt Jr. has run very well. And this race team is very, very good. Ron Hornaday, one of the best short-track drivers in the United States.
He tested here a week ago, and they had a good test. And that is the same chassis underneath that number 3 machine. The same one that Dale Earnhardt Jr. drove to the pole a year ago. Of course, the Monte Carlo this year has a whole lot more downforce than the old Monte Carlo. But nevertheless, that is a proven chassis underneath all that sheet metal as we ride around the early stages here in Nashville, Tennessee.
And the one thing the Earnhardt bunch does is they give their notes to the team that's using them right now. Ron Hornaday walked into a wealth of notes from the Urey team, and it really helped him. The learning curve is about 3 times better for him than somebody just starting out.
Good scramble off turn 4. That again is way back in the field. That's 36, 37, 38, 39. But we felt the look-in might be appropriate here because half the grandstand has jumped up to watch that scramble off the corner. It parks peaceably enough.
Yeah, that's Ricky Hendricks there. Rick Hendricks' son in the 24. Jeff Gordon drives that car occasionally during the Busch Grand National season.
Riding with Stedman Marlin. He's in the number 42, running in 40th spot. Was this track easier to drive, buddy, when the banks were real high? Or was it easier to drive now that it's a little, in its current incarnation?
Eli, all the drivers like the track like it is now. A lot better than when you just run in there and just dive into a big old bank. 35 degrees it was banked. Now it's 18 degrees. You have to use a lot of finesse to get the car up out of the corner. If you spin the wheels, you only go backwards. So it takes a lot of finesse and tire management to run well here at Nashville.
You see 120 miles an hour on the straightaway, the 42 machine of Stedman Marlin. Talk about the future of NASCAR racing. You've got Stedman Marlin. You've got Justin Labonte right there. You've got 24 Ricky Hendrick. A lot of fresh new faces looking towards the future of NASCAR. Meanwhile, the leader has caught that pack of traffic, 27 Casey Atwood. He's going to have to pick his way through the new fresh faces of the Busch Series.
Well, he's very patient. I'll tell you, for a young guy, I don't think I've ever watched anybody that had the talent that Casey Atwood does, and he uses it so well. When he's right, boy, he's almost unbeatable. You remember in Milwaukee when he won his first race up there,
right?
He just dominated all day long.
Casey going around the 50 of Tony Roper, who's new to this series of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He'll make the move on Ricky Hendrick. We're early, but lapping has begun here in Nashville. Casey Atwood has led all 39 laps thus far here at Nashville Speedway, USA, having just gone around some of the lap machines. Meanwhile, Dick Trickle still backsliding. He's now back to 13th in peril of losing that shortly. Glenn Jarrett, what are they saying? What's the problem?
Well, guys, as soon as he started falling back, I came in and asked Brian Shaker's crew what the problem was. Brian, along with the rest of the crew, just shrugged his shoulders. Dick hadn't said anything, but finally, about 3 laps ago, Brian came to me and said, the car is very loose. The reason Dick didn't say anything before is it's hard to drive a loose race car smoking a cigarette, drinking a cup of coffee all the time. Here's Randy Pemberton.
A tough day for Anthony Lazaro as well. Only making his 5th start in the Busch Series this year. He's only been running at the end of 2 of them. Unfortunately, today, they may have another problem. They've dropped a cylinder. They're going to struggle to the finish here today. Hopefully, he'll be running at the finish, but not the day that Cal Wells, this team owner, is looking for.
And there you see the crew checking both the scoring monitor and looking on to a TV monitor, which allows them to monitor our telecast from down there on the pit lane. So they're keeping tabs on their team while Anthony tries his best, being bypassed by Tony Range there in the number 33 and the 81 of Blaze Alexander. 43 laps on the board. There is the leader, Casey Atwood, by a half second now on that yellow and black car. That's the 36 of Fedua. And still, buddy, I think the number 10, the yellow machine of Jeff Green, one of the quickest, along with Atwood on the racetrack.
Yeah, and I noticed something else. You look in the right behind our leader right now, Ricky, when they got past there just a second ago, he got in behind Casey Atwood and started running his line. He's running every bit as fast as the leader now, although he'd be a lap down.
Speaking of that blue and white number 24 for Ricky Hendrick, how fast is Jeff Green going? Well, let's see. We saw before Stedman Martin on the straightaway was doing 120. Watch the numbers and watch this battle for second. That is for position, and it's over very quickly as Green grabs second spot away from Tim Fedua.
Just got under him and drove right on by. He's a very disciplined driver. That was the reason that Dale Earnhardt hired him to drive the number 3 car several years back. Jeff Green, I think, has a brilliant future also in Winston Cup in a couple of years from now.
He knows this track, too, and that's got to help. He won 16 of 20 races, Green did here back in 1990 when he was a regular in the late model stock car circuit at this track and really ran away for the honors. There you see the spread between first and second. The 10 forward to Casey Atwood. It is now 9/10 of a second.
I believe Ricky Hendricks is fixing to put a move on Casey Atwood and get back in the lead lap. He found out that these corners, the minute he did, he got lightning fast. He's looking him over right now.
48 laps in. This track measures .596, just a tick over a half mile. Hence, 320 laps is 190.7 miles around. Look at that. You're right. He's actually quicker on the computer than is Casey.
And right now, he's having to be very, very careful because he's quicker than Casey Atwood, our race leader. But you have to remember that Casey right now realizes if he uses his tires up, messing with a car that's a lap down, it could hurt him later in the long run here.
The top 37 remain on the lead lap. And you see there in the upper corner of the screen, Dick Trickle 9 seconds behind. The number on the right-hand margin is the time down to the race leader. 77, Chad Chapin having a good run, but now he's backslid to 15th, Glenn.
Yeah, Eli, I went down and asked his crew chief, Jimmy Means, what his problem was, because Chad is one of those guys that also has had a lot of laps here at Nashville Speedway, and Jimmy just gave me the sign that he's very, very loose, so that's a little unusual, as cool as it is today, and normally this racetrack stays kind of tight. The car normally will stay tight here, but got a couple of guys fighting loose race cars, and they're falling back through the pack pretty rapidly.
55, Michael Rich, he makes the move around. But there's the race leader, Casey Atwood, now nearing 1 second of an advantage over Jeff Green. 1 second advantage for car 27, Casey Atwood. Not anymore. Jeff Green has caught him for the lead here in Nashville.
Jeff Green pulls up on the quarter panel as they head down in turn 3. He has that preferred line. He should make the pass.
So 58 laps in, Casey Atwood will hand the lead over to Jeff Green without too much of a battle, actually. But now Green's got to deal with a ton of traffic and there's problems. Off turn number 2, the 00, that was Buckshot Jones. Mike Borkowski in the number 20 machine. You saw the AT&T car go around the 61 Hut Strickland.
And Mike Dillon has a lot of damage to the 21 car. He's coming in the pits and spins as he comes in.
There's problems for Mike Dillon. Caution, lap number 59. There you see Buckshot Jones as the Cheez-Its crackers have been crunched up against the wall. Oh, you didn't like that? No. An inventive way to get a sponsor name in. Thank you very much. Caution on the speedway. You know who I feel sorry for? Oh, Mike Borkowski, the youngster coming in from the ASA. If there's been a problem this year of not his own doing, he somehow has found it. Sometimes you have those years.
Well, all these cars that were involved in that wreck over there, there's a lot of damage to every one of them. Mike Dillon's car, it'll take a major act to get him back out there, and he's running for points, so they'll try to get him back out, I'm sure.
Of course, we are relatively early in the race, just some 60 laps in. But you're right, Dillon is going to be going to the garage area. There, the crew is just going to push it on.
Poor Buckshot, he got hit 2 or 3 times over there. Every time I looked, that car was going in a different direction on the back straightaway. But you know, he's still underway.
Yeah.
Buckshot Jones is still going around this racetrack.
He'll try and continue on. Remember, we have some onboard cameras that were in the vicinity there. Watch what happens here from the Visine machine. Up the banking they go. Everybody looking for their little area. There's Buckshot, nose first into the wall. Mark Day, that white number 16, just got through. Johnny Rumley, didn't even see him there the first time around. The Zero machine. Johnny Rumley also with a piece of that accident. So we are under caution. Second time today. Lap number 61 up on the board. We're seeing some pit stops. We'll update you when we come back. USA, Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Randy Pemberton, and a whole bunch of youngsters like Casey Atwood and Grubb and Petty and Marlin and Hendrick and Labonte. The future of NASCAR, that's how those fellows are running here at this age of the afternoon. Let's check in on pit stops first with Glenn.
Okay, guys, we thought we might see some of the leaders come in, but as you can see on the racetrack, they all stayed out. I checked with Kip McCord, crew chief for Casey Atwood. Casey's car has gotten just a tiny bit loose, particularly off of turn 2. So he was trying to, he's just trying to save the tires, make them run a little bit longer. Then I went to Donnie Richardson with Todd Bodine, and he says the car is good. Todd just keeps searching around on the racetrack, trying to find the groove that fits the setup on the car best. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, in the 10 pit, believe me, they did not want to pit on this stop. They are talking about going to lap 125, possibly even 150. So basically what they did was dictate whether or not the leaders came down pit road. They didn't even give a fake. They just said, we're not coming. Hopefully they won't either.
That's the update from the pit lane. Lap 66 on the board. Jeff Green having taken over the top spot at lap number 59 just prior to the caution. It has sent Johnny Rumley into the garage, Mike Dillon in the garage area. Meanwhile, on the pit lane, the work continuing for some of those involved, as you've heard from Glenn and Randy. First time this year that the NASCAR Busch Series has run a standalone event. All of the previous races have been in conjunction with NASCAR Winston Cup. As you take a look at some of the numbers on the race leader, Jeff Green from Owensboro, Kentucky. You know who else is from Owensboro? We talked about how well Todd Bodine is running. Todd's crew chief, Donnie Richardson, worked with the Greens when they ran. Again, Owensboro is just about a 2-hour drive up the highway from here. And back in the old days, Donnie Richardson came with that guy, Jeff Green, and with Mark Green and David, and worked as their crew chief here. And he said, hey, this is for me like coming home, even though Nashville's not his home. But Donnie Richardson said it's as close to a home track success-wise as he could think about. And that's one of the other reasons why his man, Todd Bodine's running well. Well, they finally put Buckshot behind the wall. Couldn't fix it on pit road. So Mike Dillon, Johnny Rumley, and now Buckshot Jones, all in the garage area under the second caution of the day in Nashville. On TNN Sports, Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, 36, Tim Fedewa. He makes the move around Atwood and can't get back down to the low side of the racetrack.
You're exactly right. He moved out and he's lost 4 positions already. Todd Bodine got by and that pushed him up the racetrack, and several cars got by him. I'll guarantee you Casey learned a lesson there.
There's Casey Atwood, who has finished second in each of the last 2 races here in Nashville. You see the 20, Mike Borkowski. He was able to continue after the accident. And look who's there in the picture. 4th-generation racer Adam Petty now doing well up in 6th.
Adam Petty, and I'll tell you, the car looks extremely good. I noticed a while ago as he was moving up through the pack there, he's able to turn that car any time he gets ready. He can go in high and turn back down the racetrack and really get a great run up out of the corner.
Lap 74, Randy. Adam Petty's giving it a run.
He sure is, Eli. And I'll tell you what, the amazing thing about this kid and this race car, this is the 5th time that they have run this race car this year. They have had no chassis damage, no frame damage on it at all. What they have had to do is replace a hood and a front facial as well as the one side of the car. But he's run this car at Las Vegas as well as Darlington, and he's got it here in Nashville today. He said, all I want to do today is be nice and smooth throughout the entire race. He's doing that right now.
He's going to try and grab 5th away from Casey Atwood if he can. We're talking about 45, Adam Petty. The blue and white car behind him, Mike McLaughlin, then Ron Hornaday. Look at this. He's going to go against one of the men who kind of feels he owns this racetrack.
Yeah, and he picks the throttle up and gets great forward bite and actually makes a pass on Casey Atwood, who was your leader just a second ago. Casey's car is kicking out as he comes off the corner. He's got a problem holding the car down.
There's 3rd place now. Good scramble. Jeff Purvis. We haven't talked much of him. Here's another fellow who runs this place and can do it blindfolded. He's been here so much. 36, Tim Fedewa. Finished 3rd here a couple of years ago.
I've watched Jeff Purvis on many occasions at this racetrack, starting the very back. He's the best at conserving his tires. Look at the line he runs. He never puts the car in a bind. He lets it float in the corner, middle part of the racetrack. He never really tightens down on the steering, and his tires last much longer than most others on this racetrack.
If you're just tuning in after that lap 59 accident, Mike Dillon, Johnny Rumley, Buckshot Jones, all taking their cars towards the infield, which serves as the garage here in Nashville. Glenn's got an update.
Yeah, standing next to Buckshot. He's watching the action right now. Buckshot, I know this is not where you want to be. What happened out there?
I don't know. It seemed like some of the guys up front of us, someone got into somebody and just trying to slow down, keep from running over anybody. And when I did, got on the brakes too hard, then got hit from behind. But that's just what happens here at the short track.
A lot of work being done on the car, a lot of heavy damage. You going to be able to get back in?
Yeah, most of the damage is just the radiator. Sheet metal's no big deal, so get a radiator, put back in it, and get back out there.
Okay, that's Buckshot Jones. He's waiting impatiently to get back in the action.
He ran here back in 1994 for the first time in the NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series. Wrecked 2 cars that day, and it's just been one of those tracks where he's had decent runs and got caught up in some accident.
Eli, as we look at Justin Labonte and all these guys right now running behind the leader, they made a pit stop and took on fresh tires, and right now they're trying to get back in the lead lap, and they're giving Jeff Green 5th.
This is the 6th place battle, as you see there on the graphic. Mike McLaughlin.
Casey's in trouble right now. He's hanging on. You see Ron Hornaday, several of the cars moving in on him, and the car just won't stay down on the racetrack. He's having a fit right now.
That battle went around Blaze Alexander's machine. There's the Napa car of Hornaday to the inside. Could not quite make the move. 42, you see in the middle of the screen, Stedman Marlin lost a lap a while ago, making his Busch Series debut here as we ride with him.
Ow! That was almost a wake-up call there.
Stedman's in 38th right now.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 26th underneath Stedman. These guys have rubbed fenders before at this racetrack, usually running weekly shows here.
26, Hamilton Jr., you wouldn't think it, but this is his Busch Series debut at this track. You think back, he has never run here in the Busch Series, though, as Buddy says, has run a ton in other divisions. Look at the numbers now for the 42 of Stedman Marlin.
About 7,500 down the straightaway and well over 120 miles an hour. They're getting, oh, contact. Stedman gets sideways there. Bobby Hamilton Jr. giving him a little wake-up call.
Everybody continues just joining us. We've had 2 cautions. First 86 laps of the event. Randy LaJoie spinning on lap number 7 and a multi-car tangle off turn 2 at lap 59. That sent Mike Dillon, Johnny Rumley, and Buckshot Jones to the garage area. Right now, Jeff Green shows the way. You did see the 50 go around the race leader. The leader is that yellow number 10. You saw the 50 of Tony Roper unlap himself there. So he now, that Dr. Pepper sponsored car, on the tail end of the lead lap in 35th. But the 10 is the leader. The 44, that's Justin Labonte. He is a lap down now. He has been lapped in 36th. Then the 66 car, that is your second place runner. And buddy, we can even see right into the cockpit. You see these drivers just sawing on those steering wheels. Some of these cars just not behaving.
Exactly right. And they've been long enough under the green now that the tires are giving up. Every lap out there now is a new experience. And they're trying to figure out what they need to do when they do finally take on tires to make the cars better. Justin Labonte there, brand new tires. The car is sticking very, very well, even though he's a lap down. Todd Bodine, on the other hand, is now moving up on Jeff Green.
Trying to unlap himself, Justin Labonte, nearing the 100 lap mark here in Nashville. Back in a moment.
Nashville Speedway, USA. Leaders are on pit road. Jeff Green is in. It's got a roundup wedge up on the left rear. It's going to be 4 tires for everybody. Jeff Green in. Adam Petty right behind him in the 45 Sprint machine. 4 tires as well for him. Ahead of the green machine, it is Tim Peterwood. Jeff Green down the way. Adam Petty down the way. Glenn Jarrett.
And Todd Bodine was in. He pulled down and beats Jeff Green out. They put 4 tires on, took wedge out of his car. Also was a little bit tight. Jeff Purvis, a very, very slow pit stop. He came in running third. He's going to be at least 6th or 7th when he goes back out. They also put 4 tires on his car with fuel and removed some wedge from the problem with the pit stop there. Tough break for Jeff Green. He worked real hard to get up to third. Excuse me, Jeff Purvis.
So now with these caution flag pit stops taking place, we welcome you back to Nashville. The reason for the caution was the fact that Derek Gilchrist spun off turn number 4 at lap number 93. Gilchrist takes over the ride in the Cadillac car, replacing Dave Steele. If you don't know the name Derek Gilchrist, he began his career in the Slim Jim All-Pro Series, ran 8th in points in 96. Next year, he was 7th in points, and he was 2nd in points. Last year, moved to the American Speed Association, won 3 races there, and then wrapped up the season winning the pole for the ARCA Bondo Marhide Series race at Atlanta. There you see the 82 machine for Derek Gilchrist as he spun off turn number 4 on lap 93 to bring out the 3rd caution flag of the afternoon. You know, you like that kind of credential. He just consistently moves up in points from year to year to year. An update from Glenn.
Well, guys, remember we told you how loose Chad Chaffin's car was. Well, if you look at the leaderboard right now, he's leading the race. The reason for that, he, Kevin Harvick, Jason Schuler, Jason Jarrett, and the 61 car, Buck Strickland, all pitted on the last caution flag. So they didn't have to pit this time. All the guys in front of them came in, so that put these guys right up the front of the pack. So Chad Chaffin's car is a lot better right now, and he's at the head of the pack. Let's see how long he can stay there.
And a couple of guys got their laps back, too.
Absolutely. Justin Labonte made his lap back, and another car. You know what, though? This is going to give everybody a good example of what new tires on these cars. These cars that are out there in the lead right now are on older tires. Watch them when the lead cars catch them again. It will be dramatic how much quicker the new tires are.
Let's restart on board Jason Schuler's car.
Get ready.
Schuler and Matt Kenseth will continue to split the driving chores on that Visine machine. The 2 is trying to unlap himself. Well, no, technically no. Correct myself. Kevin Harvick battling for the lead. As Glenn had told you, he made that earlier pit stop. So that is a battle for the lead there. The 77 Chapman, the number 2 of Harvick.
Steve Workowski in 20 there, jumping sideways in front of everybody as they're coming off the corner. Stedman Marlin in the green nose car coming off there, number 42. He's really having a fight right now. The car is not sticking the way he wants it to. Jason Jason Jarrett, the 11 there, making a move on the inside of Stedman Marlin.
Jason Jarrett is running fourth. Hutch Strickland in the orange, number 61. He's running in fifth as we ride with Stedman Marlin. Now, in that pack, the blue and white number 20 of Borkowski is a lap down. He's in 37th spot. There you see him, third car in line. Everybody else on the lead lap because they are on their own pit stop schedule, as Glenn documented moments ago. Some stopped at lap 59, others didn't.
There's Todd Bodine in the 66. Now he has on fresh tires. He just stopped. You watch how he knifes his way up through this traffic with pressure rubber on the car.
Hood goes up on Mark Green's machine. This at lap 103 of 320. Brilliant sunshine all of a sudden, though the temperature's still quite chilly. Again, it's 35, nearly 40 degrees colder than it was yesterday. And the weatherman says tomorrow it's going to be warm again. This is just one of those one-day Canadian cold fronts that snuck in to chill off Nashville.
Riding with Jason Schuler, he's doing a great job right now, able to hold that 17 right on the bottom of the racetrack. Looking back at Jason Jarrett, a little damage on the right front corner. He said hello to somebody in this bull ring.
But Glenn, the railback car's doing well.
Yeah, Eli, he's had a pretty good race car since he got here, and I watched him in final practice yesterday, and he was one of the top 10 or 15 quickest cars. He's doing a good job out there. I told him this morning before the race, I said, they've had some trouble making races the last few weeks. I said, Jason, you've got a good race car, man. You've got to go out there and drive really hard every lap. Drive like your job depended on it. He just looked at me and said, you know, it might be. So he knows that they've had some problems. He's wanting to show people what he can do, and most of all, show his dad, Bill Jarrett, who owns that car.
As we look out the rear of that Jason Jarrett machine towards Schuler and others. There's the 10, Jeff Green, working inside of Hutch Strickland. That's for position. Green picking up 6th from Hutch.
And Todd Bodine is knifing his way through as we see Chad Chaffin in the 77 go down the back straightaway. The 66 right now is absolutely flying. Todd Bodine has got that car dialed in. He's making a move on Jason Jarrett just behind there.
And there it is, that scramble for the 4th spot. That's Fido. I mean, that's the name of the car that Todd is driving, number 66. That's the name, Fido. Same car that finished 9th at Pikes Peak and 4th at Richmond last year. The telecast last year, it might be called Fido, but it's not running like a dog, and that's the case again today.
Yeah, and Jeff Green right now in the 10 is making a move. These are all on pressure tires. These guys that are running the base of the racetrack and running so well. Tim Peterwin in 36 also making a run up towards the front.
Lap 110 of 320. Just joining us, we've had 3 fairly brief cautions. Here comes Mike Dillon. For those of you who are a fan of his, he is returning to the racetrack some 50 laps down after being involved in an accident earlier. Mike Dillon is back on the speedway.
Casey Atwood now, he seems to have his handling problem fixed with the tire change. Moving up toward the front also. Jason Jarrett holding on right now. That's the significance of being in sync with everybody and being on fresh rubber. He's probably driving harder than the guys that are passing him, but when you have pressure rubber on this racetrack, it's a half a second sometimes around this racetrack.
Hornaday and Petty. That's the 3 and the 45 battling for 7th and 8th. That's a good one. Hornaday driving for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. Adam Petty. Such an emotional week for him, with his great-grandfather Lee having passed away earlier in the week, as we talked earlier.
Yeah, that's a part of Lee, though. I'll tell you, you can watch the driving style. Never in trouble. Very, very consistent. Working on Hornaday, one of the best short-track drivers in the country, and doing it very well as he makes a move on the inside, Eli.
For position, that's the 7th.
That's a pity.
See, Casey Atwood's going to close in on this. Oh, and that's an Earnhardt-owned car.
Yep.
As Ron Hornaday comes charging right back, and it opens the 27 on the inside groove. Casey Atwood going for 8. I'll tell you, there's no exchanging experience at a racetrack like this, is there?
No. One thing you have to believe is if the laps on this racetrack make you better. And Casey Atwood showing you right now, soft pedaling into the corner, letting the car roll in the center part of the corner. When he gets back in the throttle, he runs it as straight off the corner as he possibly can to save the tires, but he's still doing it, and he's doing it being very quick.
If you're a Johnny Rumley fan, he has brought his car back from the garage area, 54 laps down. So now only Mark Green, who still has the hood up, and Buckshot Jones with that radiator repair. Those are the only 2 cars off the racetrack right now. Dillon and Rumley having both returned. You look at Chad Chapman, he is the race leader. Took over at lap 97. We're now at lap 119. And you know something, Randy? Once Chad got out there, he's been able to set his own pace, dodge traffic. He's as smooth as anybody.
He's doing a great job, no question about it. And I'll tell you, you can talk about all types of legendary drivers in this sport, guys that have had tons and tons of success in a place particularly like Nashville. There's a guy standing on top of the pit box, Jimmy Smut Means, longtime Winston Cup driver, on top of the pit box. He is the team manager / crew chief for Chad Chapman. Talking to him earlier this week, he thought they may have something for him here. I'll tell you what, they're showing their true colors here today. They're having just an excellent run, but it's Jimmy Means, longtime Winston Cup veteran driver, crew chiefing the duties here today.
And of course, he's had some runs here. Was a track champion at the Huntsville Motor Speedway in Alabama, just down Interstate 65. Jimmy Means knows his way around the short tracks as well. Coming at you in your living room with the light ablaze, it can mean only one thing. Caution number 4, a multi-car accident.
Eli, it started back just as the camera got on him there. You can see the 18 there, Jason Leffler, the 20 of Borkowski, and Blaze Alexander was involved in that accident as they started off. What they did, they just made a little bit of contact. They couldn't get away from each other, and they spun, but all 3 cars went on.
Now, a number of the teams electing to make pit stops here, so we're going to continue on the different pit stop schedule, if you will, that we've seen here in the early stages. Some teams pitting on lap 124, some on 125, others now on lap 126 as we are a lap away from going back to green. Chad Chapman continues as the race leader. Kevin Harvick, 2nd spot. 3rd is going to be the resurgent Jeff Green, who picked his way back through traffic. Then Todd Bodine, Tim Fedewa. There's Buckshot Jones returning to the racetrack. So he is going to be some 59 laps down. So only one's in the garage right now. The only car in the garage is going to be Mark Green as they continue to tend to the Superflow car. Going back to green here in Nashville.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Green flag. Green flag.
Good jump by Jason Leffler there in the 18. He's back in that lap now. Kevin Harvick in the 2 car there. He and Chad Chapman side by side making a little contact. Jeff Green moving in 3rd.
There you see the battle for the lead. Can't make the move. You'll see who's where from that Napa Field standing update there on the score. Upper left-hand corner of your screen. Remember, the folks in Napa inviting you to enter their Banks a Million sweepstakes for a chance to win $1 million.
And if that 2 car looks vaguely familiar, that is the Richard Silverstone car. Quite a break for Harvick to get that opportunity in that car, but he has driven it very well. But he's got all the pressure in the world now. Jeff Green is smoking him over.
Jeff Green trying to bump him out of the way. Todd Bodine, the 66. That's a battle for position. That black and yellow Stanley Tools machine. Tim Fedewa, the 36. They're all battling for a spot. Adam Petty is there. Casey Atwood. what numbers Jeff Green's posting here.
About 7,800 and just about 123, 24 miles an hour is what I was looking at as he got to the end of the straightaway. You see 123 right there.
Trying to make the pass on Harvick for second place. And finally, riding Harvick up the banking. Let's see if Todd Bodine can take advantage there in the number 66 car.
Oh, he's got him. He's on the preferred line. You can fight as hard as you want to on that outside line, but he'll make the move coming out of the corner there.
And Tim Fedewa in the Stanley Chevrolet.
And there's Adam Petty in the 45, just going along. Every time an opening comes, he takes it.
Casey Atwood will be next in line. The key here is you tighten up so quickly, Harvick can't get back down in front of you, but I don't know if Casey's going to get there. No, Harvick is able to get back in line.
Adam Petty, I just talked about him in 6th spot in the 45 car, doing a great job today. Kind of running his own race, running the racetrack and not the competition.
Now, up front for the lead, given to Jeff Green. Easy enough, he sizes up Chad Chapin. Between those two guys, they've probably got half the race wins here at Nashville Speedway. Not so much in this division, but in all racing divisions here.
I was just reading about Chad Chapin last night, and he has won 39 times on the premier circuit that they have here at Nashville. So he knows this racetrack without doubt.
Now look at this scramble. That's for second. Give it to Todd Bodine. He'll go around Chad. Here comes Fedewa, matching his career best at Nashville when he finished third here a couple of years back.
Pardon me, I was looking at Adam Petty, how he went in there, and I hit the telestrator. You always see the little white dots you see today. I get excited. That's directly in front of me. I was making a point that the 45 of Adam Petty is absolutely on a string around this track.
But you know, you look at this racetrack, and if you don't have the horsepower, you're not going to handle, and if you don't handle, you can't use your horsepower. I mean, you really got to find that delicate balance here.
And you also have to put a lot of driving finesse. You can go out there with the greatest chassis in the world, you slam your foot down on it, break the rear wheels loose, then fight it sideways off the corner. Pretty soon the tires get hot and you slide all over the racetrack. That's from a guy that did that many times.
Well, yeah. 8 times. You've also in 13 starts here, 1 in the NASCAR Winston Cup division. You had 6 top 10, so let's not doubt your performance here. That was pretty good dodge you drove here to victory lane that day.
I just fixing to say, when you drive for Harry Hyde, if you don't win, something basically wrong with you.
Speaking of dodge, you know that 27 there, Casey Atwood, if the rumor mill is correct, not even rumor, I mean, certainly Ray Evernham has been outspoken to the fact that Casey Atwood is one of those he's been speaking to about joining Bill Elliott for the Dodge efforts in the future.
And you can see why Ray Evernham feels that he could really add to Casey Atwood's career. The two of them would really be great, and with Bill Elliott to be his tutor, you know that would just bring him right along so quickly.
So the race leader is still Jeff Green. We're at lap 141. A brisk business at the concession stands and the toolbox. Wrenchhead.com, the online automotive superstore. Millions of replacement parts, performance parts, and accessories, and free shipping. Wrenchhead.com, parts online all the time. That is the reason we are under caution. Problems for Jason Jarrett.
I looked up. Jason was up against the outside wall. I didn't see what caused it, but coming off turn 4, the 11 of Jason Jarrett got around. There's some damage to the left rear corner of the car.
We'll see if our little speed shot camera has a view of what happened.
You can see right there, pretty much by itself. It looks like maybe coming off the corner, and that's easy to do here. You lose traction so easily getting off the corners here.
Meanwhile, pit stops are taking place here at lap number 150. Chad Chapin is in. And Glenn Jarrett, a lot of the fellas in the second caution not during the third. This is a break for them because they were starting to fall back, huh?
Yeah, particularly Chad Chaff. Of course, he got out there and had that big lead that he built up, but he is off sequence with the rest of the leaders. Of course, this pit stop right here is going to put him at the very rear of the field. Jason Jarrett was one of those cars that had, and I believe Jason had a tire going down. He had fallen all the way to the back of the field, so it's really going to keep things mixed up now that we do have a couple of good cars, like the 77 car of Chad Chaffin, who is off sequence as far as the rest of the field with their pit stops. So it'll keep us busy down here, if nothing else.
So these stops under caution. Lap number 48 is when the yellow flew. We're now at lap number 150. 161 is halfway, so the reports of rain and possible snow and sleet today never really panning out. It is a brilliantly sunshiny day, though quite cold. We'll give that much to the weatherman. They did catch that part of the equation, but it is beautifully sunshiny here at Nashville Speedway, USA. You know what I did yesterday? Flew overhead the new racetrack here, flying into Nashville. We flew overhead the new Nashville Super Speedway, 1 1/3. That's the length of that track. And when you can see it now, they got stuff going up, buildings and what have you. That's going to be a beautiful racetrack, folks. When you come back to Nashville in the future and the racing is out there, you owe it to yourself to visit, because from up overhead, you saw a beautiful track in the making. Gone back to green. Turns 1 and 2 here at Nashville Speedway, USA. Jeff Green, the leader. Glad you're with us here on TNN Sports. Eli Gold, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Randy Pemberton. In the middle of that picture, if you're picking guys out, the number 43, look who's in 6th, Jay Sauter, to grab 5th away from the 27 of Casey Atwood, if he can do it.
Boy, he's gouging it now. Borkowski in the 20 was in his way. He just went up there and took the racetrack away, moved Casey Atwood up and took that spot.
Riding with Mike McLaughlin. He's got Hornaday just to his left, and you see Atwood through the windshield. That's a battle for 6th, 7th, 8th position. Oh, Jay Sauter doing himself proud today, stepping up from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, great ASA short tracker.
Yeah, he drove the number 3 for Richard Childress in the Craftsman Truck Series and was always the front runner in that division. Moved up to Busch Grand National and has been a threat in several races this year.
How about that, picking up 26 spots, Jay Sauter. Hank Parker Jr., Harvick, Elton Sawyer. Haven't talked much about him. He's picked up a number of spots. We're 2 laps shy of halfway. And now problems main straightaway. As around goes the 16 of Mark Day, and we are under caution for the 6th time. Mark Day from Clarksville, Tennessee. As you see, Matt Abernathy putting out the caution flag here at Nashville Speedway, USA. So caution on the racetrack. It happened so quickly on any short track.
Well, I would just about bet that there was a little bit of contact on that 16 car, Mark Day, because he knows this racetrack. He runs weekly up here, and I would say he probably got a little help coming off turn 4.
We'll take a look from that speed shot camera we've got on the wall in turn 4. See if we can see what happened. Well, it's already underway. Ah, there goes Gilchrist around 2. That blue and red number 82. Oh, and I think Day might have just spun himself, or the 0 coming towards us might have helped him.
I think Rumley might have just got in the back of him, turned him there, because he was checking up for the spin of the 82 car of Gilchrist.
Going to the garage area will be Mike Borkowski. He's been involved in a couple of spins here today. His car goes to the garage. We go to a break. Back to Nashville in a moment. Meanwhile, on pit road, Bill Parsons in for yet another unscheduled stop, Randy.
Yeah, they think it's a miss in the engine, but they're not quite sure. Now they're talking electrical. They think it's a solenoid problem. So Bill's been on and off of pit road a couple of times, and they're just having a tough time today. Glenn Jarrett?
Well, mostly what we're seeing on pit road now, guys, are guys like that, like Bill Parsons with problems. Jason Jarrett just came by again. He's been in several times trying to repair the damage to his car. That's what we're seeing. The reason we're not seeing the leaders pit right now is because we're getting a one-to-go signal right now. It's because of track position. It is the most important thing here at Nashville, track position. It's so hard. The cars run such close speeds to each other. It's so hard to pass when they're all on fresh tires. So they don't want to give up that track position until they absolutely have to. I expect we'll see them if we run another 20 or 30 laps and have another caution. I expect you'll see them in maybe for the last time.
All right, we are now past the halfway point, 164 on the board.
Get ready.
Getting set to go back to green.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Green flag. Green flag. You're all clear.
Sorting themselves out on the restart. Jeff Green took the lead, lap 134. Todd Bodine right behind him, then Tim Fedewa, Adam Petty, Jay Sauter. That's your top five. Casey Atwood running in the 6th spot. Mike McLaughlin, Ron Hornaday, Jeff Purvis, and Jason Keller. That is your top 10. Guys using their heads here on the restart, buddy.
Yeah, everybody's pretty well single file now. They'll start going at it again. All they're doing now is getting their breath back because it's been pretty action-filled as far as rest is. There's quite a few cars out there that have a tremendous amount of damage on them. And when you're coming up with a great race car on lap traffic that's running a third of the speed you are, you have to be very, very careful. Jeff Purvis doing a great job in the 4 car. And on the inside there in the 57, you can see the car of Jason Keller doing a great job also.
If you're just joining us, we have had 6 caution flags. The earliest was on lap 7. The most recent at lap 161. Only 2 cars are now in the garage, Mike Borkowski and Lyndon Amick. Mike Dillon was in earlier. He's back 50 laps down. Johnny Rumley is back on the track 54 laps down. Buckshot Jones, after having a radiator crunched in an accident, he's back on the track 65 laps down. Otherwise, everyone on the speedway, and only 2 of the 43 starters are out. Hey, watch what happened here to Casey Atwood just a moment ago. Look at this, buddy.
Well, Casey Atwood is in 27 there. Mike McLaughlin on the inside, contact right there. Light contact, but it did move him over. Hornaday in the 3 goes right on by.
So Jeff Green continues as the race leader. If you are a Phil Parsons fan, he is making yet another unscheduled pit stop. We heard from Randy a while ago talking about the distributor problem, or whatever they feel the problem might be, something electrical, they weren't quite sure. Phil's back in. There's Tim Fedewa running in the 3rd. Now the word is they're changing the battery on Phil Parsons' car. Phil's first race, if you remember, was here back in 1984 in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. First Winston Cup race. Oh, there he is. Meanwhile, back on the racetrack, Casey Atwood in the number 27 car. Battling, though not for position, with the 18 of...
Yeah, Jason Leffler's been in a couple of altercations. That was a round backwards not long ago on the racetrack. Running very steady now, but having his problems didn't use the track. But that will be a star. If you've ever watched him in the sprint cars and midgets, you know he is a great talent.
He is a lap down in the 18 machine, Jason Leffler. Riding with Jeff Purvis. He's in 9th.
If you'll notice, Jeff Purvis is not turning his car right down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's running a very high line around the racetrack. Of course, he couldn't run low if he wanted to right now because Jason Keller's giving him what it's all about. Just behind him, Dick Trickle, a little while falling back. Now he's back up to speed, making a move on purpose.
That's 9th, 10th, and 11th. Keller grabs 9th. Right at 120 plus for Jason Keller in the 57 car.
You can the RPMs just go right on up there, about 78, 7,900 down the straightaway.
Folks, a lot of folks who are new to the sport of NASCAR racing don't quite grasp how it's tougher on a track like this, or where the Winston Cup cars are this weekend in Martinsville. Tougher on the components in the engine at a track like this than it is going flat out in Talladega 200 miles an hour for a couple, 3 hours.
Well, at Talladega, you just keep a steady speed all the way around the racetrack, steady RPMs. Here, you go down as hard as you're braking to get in the corner, as hard on the motor. When you accelerate, you go from 4,500, you can see on telemetry, to almost 8,000 down the straightaway. That's asking a lot of a motor.
98 Elton Sawyer in the mix now. He's got LaJoie to his outside in the one machine. Elton is running in 12th. We told you very early in the show, as you look at the telemetry from Randy LaJoie's car, 98, that's what they call a drop snout car, first of that variety that Elton has had, and he likes it. He said, man, it just turns so much better in the center of the corner. What does it mean, though, buddy, drop snout car?
Well, what it does, it changes the roll center on the car, and it actually makes it push down and turn a little bit better. A lot of people like a drop snout car. I think sometimes you get carried away with little things and different. I have gone back to the basics a lot of times and had a better race car.
Interesting. They'll use that same car again at South Boston, Myrtle Beach, Indianapolis, Raceway Park. Watch what happens here. Watch Bobby Hillen's car, that blue and white number 8 up near the high side.
Yow!
Coming through, pardon me.
Well, that happens when the car on the inside does not really there, and he thinks he's already passed, and they made contact. Bobby Hillen, very lucky, he didn't stay in that outside wall. You know, Jason Schuler's doing a great job in that 17 car. We're used to seeing Matt Kenseth, but I'm really impressed with the way he's handling himself on the racetrack here. He's passing some good race cars. He's just got by 77 there, Chad Chaffin, who is very, very good at this racetrack. So he's adapting to the Busch Grand National Circuit very, very well.
Schuler tested here in that 17 car back in late March. He only had 40 laps of seat time in a Busch Series car, any car, before that test. Then he came here and ran a 200-lap test, and he said that was just invaluable to him. He's from Matt Kenseth's hometown, you know, up there in Cambridge, Wisconsin. Up front, it's 1 second of a lead for that man, Jeff Green. While Tim Fedo's crew ponders strategy on pit road. Known. We've seen some pretty good wrestling on the racetrack today, but Randy, once Jeff Green got in the clear here lately, nobody's been able to get within 2 seconds of it.
Yeah, they haven't made a lot of adjustments on his car here today, but they have taken one round of bite out. That's about it, other than changing tires. The sun has popped out down here, Eli. I don't know if that's changing track conditions or not, but Green complained about being loose earlier. Now the car is absolutely perfect. Quick update on Adam Petty. His crew chief, Chris Hussey, is constantly coaching him. You got to remember, he's only 19 years old. He said, kid, you're doing a great job. Keep running your line. They've only gone through, I think, 1 set of tires down here. So Adam Petty, likewise, having a good run. Glenn?
Well, Randy, I've come down again to Casey Atwood, the pole sitters pits, to find out what's wrong. Casey is falling backwards through the field. I've been watching him come off the corner and seeing the back end kick out, but the car is not loose. What's happening is the car is pushing so bad in the center of the corner that Casey is having to really crank the wheel over, and when he gets on through the corner to accelerate to come up, he's got the front wheel turned so far to try to make it turn that it kicks the back end out. They're going to make a 4-tire change and a track bar adjustment to try to free that car up if they ever get another caution flag to come in. They want to do that under caution to make changes like that. But Casey Atwood fighting in the Earl Hamlin car right now.
Meanwhile, the leader is in traffic, Jeff Green. He has caught the 92 of Jimmy Johnson there in the Alltel car. About to put him down a lap. Johnson's running in 29th right now.
Now, you can see Jeff Green, when he got up there, just give a little tap there. Not enough to upset the car, but let the guy in front of him know, I'm here. I need to get by. But Jimmy Johnson fighting back and not giving up.
You know, I'm going to miss this place. You're probably going to say, yeah, you've never driven here, Eli. But I mean, from a spectator standpoint, just so much history. This is kind of like a Fenway Park, a Wrigley Field, anything like that. Of course, the new...
was a little more than casual contact there.
Johnson hangs on, but I'm going to miss what this track has given us over the years.
I'd say Jeff Green right now, give him the honor of going through that corner without touching him again, because I would say Jimmy Johnson was a little bit upset there. He got hit pretty good getting in the corner, but Green right now is running the racetrack, and he got down in the corner. Did not mean to hit Jimmy Johnson's car, but when you touch somebody here, you go in the corner so hard that it just turns the whole car sideways. He was lucky to save that car.
Again, this is not for position. The 10 is the race leader. And Johnson's in 29th, trying and right now staying on the lead lap. But I believe that situation's about to change.
Yeah, and crew chiefs, they'll tell him, don't give that lap up. Try to stay up there. Don't cause him a problem, but try to stay ahead if you possibly can.
There's concern on the pit lane that Jay Sauter may have a tire that's going soft. There he is. Remember, he was very much up in the mix earlier in 5th and 6th. He's now back in 18th position. And the crew, though not calling for a pit stop right now, keeping a close eye on the number 43. Meanwhile, Jeff Green still not gotten around Johnson.
Well, he just ruffled his hair enough to make him hot, I think. He's making it very, very hard to get by, and he's running right in the center part of the racetrack. It'll be tough to get by, but Jeff Green will figure it out here in a second.
You know, kind of reminds you of Dave Marcus, who, you know, hasn't had the best runs, hasn't had the worst runs. Ends up a lap or two down, whatever, but you can't get by him when he finally, I mean, he'll just put those hackles up and battle you to the finish. Finally, the pass is made. So 29th place, Jimmy Johnson going a lap down. What it's done, though, it's allowed Todd Bodine to pick up a couple tenths. Todd was 2 seconds down to the leader. He's now 1 8/10 back. There is Todd in the 66, having gone around Blaze Alexander's machine.
You know, Eli, you were talking about this racetrack and what it's meant to so many different people. It's incredible to even think this racetrack won't be here in 3 years from now. I mean, as far as the local shows, they're going to go until 2003 here on a weekly, but this is the last Busch Grand National race here, and it's meant so much to different people. And you think of Sterling Marlin, Darrell Waltrip, the race car drivers that have graduated through this racetrack. It's been one of the great proving grounds for drivers, and I hate to see it close.
Yeah, you were saying once a year or two ago, I mean, this track, Hickory, Birmingham, maybe the 3 short tracks that have spawned more NASCAR stars than any other.
I've heard drivers say, and I feel this way, if you can run well here, you can go to Darlington, run well. Mark Day gets a little lesson and move over there.
Kevin Harvick there. That was 9th place in the mix there. Kevin Harvick said, coming through. It's a gutsy move there, going 3 wide into this into the corner. Meanwhile, up front, once Jeff Green got around Jimmy Johnson, look at this. He's about to put a lap on Casey Atwood, who was backslid to 27th spot. And he's pulled ahead, Green has, by nearly 3 seconds on Todd Bodine. So once he got, there's the spread. Once he got around Jimmy Johnson, he's just checked out.
Eli, as long as it was, trouble. Mark Day.
Mark Day in the corner.
We were just talking, he got bumped a little bit just before this. Now the whole back of the car is missing.
And there's the bumper, and then the other end is the bumpy.
Gilchrist has a lot of damage to the front of his car. The 2 of them made contact.
So caution on the speedway for the 7th time, coming out at lap 210 of 320. And Mark Day, looks like his day is indeed done. Here's again what happened. Tail end, sheared off a good bit of that rear clip.
Well, the good part is he builds race cars. That's what he does. He builds dirt cars and asphalt cars, so he'll take her back to his shop and go to work and rebuild this car. But, boy, a lot of damage on Mark Day's car.
So caution for the 7th time as the track safety crews make sure that all is okay. And you saw the thumbs up. And Mark Day is going to unhook his safety gear. So he'll be the 3rd retiree. He will join Mike Borkowski and Lyndon Amick in the garage area. And now at lap 211 of 320, this is going to be able to do it for these guys, fuel-wise, certainly, as far as making a pit stop right here and taking it to the house.
And this will be a real test of how good you can save tires, because it is going to be a long run to the end of the race.
Let's see what happens now as the Nestle's team gets set to bring Jeff Green in.
That rabbit looks like he's up to something to me, huh?
We'll put a clock on when they come around here. It'll be interesting to see folks talk about all these pit stops under Green and how they have been so very strong. I wonder how much liberty these teams can really take when you make a stop under caution. They're going to get that true value pit stop clock working here under this caution flag stop and see exactly what Jeff Green's team is able to do for him.
Eli, you still want that track position. As Glenn Jarrett said not long ago, it's so important to come out. If you come in the lead, you want to go out in the lead. You don't want to have to pass people on this very difficult track. And Mark Day is not happy.
No, he's looking for...
I've seen this before. Different player, but I know. Look. Uh-huh.
And he says, Derek, what were you thinking? And that discussion, no doubt, will continue on. No pit stops yet. The pit lane remains closed, Glenn.
Well, guys, the reason for that is because right at the exit to pit road down here is where all the cleanup truck, the safety crew, the fire truck, and the tow truck trying to get the 16 car off the racetrack. So NASCAR doesn't want to create a situation where these guys are jumping in the pits and then all fighting to get back out and running right up on all that emergency equipment sitting there. So as soon as they get all this stuff removed from the racetrack down here in the middle of turns 1 and 2, they will open. We'll see those, hopefully what they think will be their last pit stops.
Just joining us, this is the 7th caution of the day. First one came out when Randy LaJoie spun off turn 2 at lap 7, and there have been a series of cautions spanning through lap 210, where we are working right now. Mike Borkowski is in the garage, so too Lyndon Amick, and Mark Day's car is heading. Race leaders today, Casey 58 laps. Jeff Green led from 59 to 93. Chad Chaffin from lap 97 to 133. And Jeff Green from 134 to the present time. And we continue here under the caution. First race of the year for the NASCAR Busch Series, where the NASCAR Winston Cup regulars were not on the scene. You know, it's interesting, too. You look back, we have not had a repeat winner in the NASCAR Busch Series events here at Nashville over the years. Some great names. David Green has won here. Jeff Green. Jack Ingram won here, the Iron Man. Bobby Labonte has won here. Rick Mast, Steve Park, Darrell Waltrip won here. Mike McLaughlin has won here. No repeat winners dating back to the first Busch Series race here. So see whether that streak wraps say so long to this venerable racetrack.
Well, these guys certainly think they have a good chance of breaking that record right now, because Jeff Green is absolutely, he looks like he's tied on a string going around here. No problems whatsoever so far.
That is the NASCAR official signaling that the pit road remains closed. Used to circle under the caution here at Nashville Speedway, USA. Our pole sitter today, Casey Atwood, not likely to win this race, though you never know as one's fortunes can change, but he's now running in 27th spot as you look at Casey. Matter of fact, no driver has ever won a race here from the pole. Now, Darrell Waltrip and Mike McLaughlin have both won poles here and then won races later, but never in the same event as the pole sitter won here at Nashville Speedway. What's your most fond memory? A guy asked me earlier, one of the newspaper writers from the Nashville Tennessean was doing a little poll up here, asking me what my most memorable moment was at this racetrack. And I remembered that finish when Junior Johnson had fielded a car for both Darrell Waltrip and Neil Bonnet, and both guys, they won. Remember that night where the world went to victory lane? Everybody thought they won. What's your most memorable?
Well, when I won here, of course, but look at the leaders now. They're coming in pit road. We'll talk about that in a second, but right now the leaders are headed down pit road.
Let's get that True Value pit stop clock going here. True Value, where help is just around the corner. Let's go downstairs.
Well, Jeff Green is in. They're going to have a 4-tire stop here. It's going to be air pressure adjustment only for this car. It's been absolutely perfect today. Adam Petty sits behind him on pit road. Nice smooth stop so far on the Nesquik Chevy. Little trouble on the right rear. Oh, down the way. Excellent stop altogether. Ahead of the 10 car on pit road is Tim Fedua. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for him. Adam Petty having all kinds of trouble back here behind Jeff Green's pit. Trouble on the left front. Oh, may have lit missile. Now that's Chris Hussey, the crew chief, changing tires on Adam's car.
So Adam Petty will lose some real estate on the pit lane. 18 and change that pit stop, as you saw, for Jeff Green's team. And there he is. The 33 car you saw just ahead of him is about 4 laps down. Now the cars that are not on the lead lap coming in for service. We're in Nashville, Tennessee. The finish is within sight.
Where the pit stops have just been completed. Todd Bodine came in along with the other leaders. He came out second or behind Jeff Green. They're not second now on the racetrack. They had a very good pit stop. They did 4 tires and made a wedge adjustment on the car. Now, Casey Atwood, because he went a lap down just prior to that caution, he had to wait a lap and come in with the lap cars. And when Casey came in, let me tell you what, they completely reset the chassis on the car. They took the spring rubber out of the right front, and it looked like 3 to 4 rounds of bite out of the car. I told you it was pushing really badly. So they're hoping that Casey Nail will be the first car in line when they get set for the restart so that he can try to get that lap back. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, Chad Chaffin has taken the lead by virtue of not pitting. They have only 1 set of tires left, and Jimmy Means sitting up on top of the box figures they had no choice whatsoever other than to stay out at this particular time. So, boy, he's staring down 2 barrels right now, and both barrels are loaded, I'll tell you that.
Interesting strategy.
You can race back to the caution here. Just remember that.
You hear the field getting the word, 1 to go.
The poles.
Heard that a few times.
You were saying your most memorable moment here, obviously your win in that great Dodge in 1973. Maybe exclusive of that, not counting that. Anything else comes to mind of a great or a memorable moment here?
I think just running up here with Bobby Allison and Neil Bob, Donnie Allison, and all the people that used to come here, and Harry Gatt used to come up here on occasion. This racetrack used to be a place that if you had a weekend off, you just come up here and run because you like to.
Hey, Glenn, Chad Chapman wasn't the only guy who didn't stop.
Oh, no, Eli, absolutely not. The 2-car of Ken Harvick, the 37, the 61, and the 34, none of those guys came in on that stop. That's why they are the first 5 cars in line right now. Jeff Green and Todd Bodine, the rest of those guys have fresh tires. It shouldn't take them long to put them away. We're getting ready for the restart.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Green flag. Green flag. You're all clear. Inside.
Hey, very tight here.
We've had 7 cautions.
And if they keep running like they're running right now, we're working on the 8th one, because just that second, as we were talking, and you can see right there, 3 wide down the straightaway, everybody fighting, trying to get the ones that are a lap down, trying to get back on the lead lap. Casey Atwood now has Chad Chaffin in his sights. He would love to make up that lap is down, but right now he does not know what kind of chassis he has. They've changed everything, as Glenn Jarrett said.
They're going to black flag. You saw the 27 for Casey Atwood on that 3-wide move. The Castrol GTX machine getting the black flag from NASCAR.
And what that means, with them 4 laps, he has to pull in or they will quit scoring him, and he can ride all he wants to, but he won't be scored from that point on.
Right, once you see a black flag with a white cross on it, or a white X, that tells the driver, have a pleasant afternoon, because these laps don't count for you. Well, look at Hornaday. Ron Hornaday just pulling his way through.
And Jason Shula just saying, well, if you're going to do that, I'll sit right here and let you open all these holes up for me. But you can see there's damage on nearly every car out there where there's push and shove going on, because on this racetrack, if you race hard, you will hit other cars.
Casey Atwood has made his stop. There you see, he'll just have to come to a stop. It is a stop-and-go penalty for jumping the restart in his effort to get his lap back moments ago.
But now, instead of 1 lap down, he's 2 laps down.
Casey Atwood, he'll be shown in 31st spot. Look at Hornaday there in the middle, that number 3 machine. He's up to 9th, now he's up to 8th.
Anybody's ever watched him when he was driving for Dale Earnhardt in the truck division knows the rougher and tougher it is out there, the better he likes it. So he ought to be right in Hog 7 here, because he is getting around this racetrack, pushing, shoving, having a great time.
Pushing and shoving, that is the byword here at Nashville Speedway, USA. Find your spot, claim it however you can. Back in a moment. Green heading towards the infield garage area, and he's doing more skating than the Montreal Canadiens.
Yes, that whole rear end housing moved over about a foot in that car.
Looked like when he came off turn number 4, he was pack of traffic and came spinning here onto the main straightaway. So to the garage area goes the Superflow car. Folks, if you're looking for action on Wednesdays, you've come to the right place. There's Dead Man's Gun, 18 Wheels of Justice, and the Magnificent 7. Don't miss TNN's Action Wednesdays, all starting at 8 Eastern and Pacific, right here on TNN. We are with you at Nashville Speedway, USA. Chad Chapin is the race leader. Randy?
Boy, it has been decision by committee down here. There are 4 or 5 guys talking and discussing whether or not to come in and put that last set of tires on Chad Chapin. But there are so many cars on the lead lap, they just cannot afford to give up that track position. They're not trying to go all the way on this last set. They need to get that other set on, but they just can't do it right now.
Gotta roll the bones. See what happens. Take your chances. Closing in on the finish here in Nashville.
Imagine.
We have just gone back to green here in Nashville. 77 is the race leader, Chad Chapin. Jeff Green second, Todd Bodine third. 26 teams on the lead lap. That all-tell machine on the inside, the 92, Jimmy Johnson trying to get back onto the tail end of the lead lap.
And Jason Leffler in the 18 there on the inside, also fighting very hard, right on the back bumper of Johnson as they head down there. Chad Chapin, your race leader, with Jeff Green directly behind him. Todd Bodine in 66 in 3rd place.
This is going to be interesting to see whether the decision to stay out on the part of some of these teams was the right one to make. Of course, history shows that we will have more than just the 8 cautions that we've already had. Well, what if this deal stays green for the next 40 or 50 laps, then what?
Excuse me, Eli, as we were talking there, Jeff Green took a look on the outside, but Chad Chapin just stuck his foot in the accelerator there and just motored off the corner. But this is going to get tight right now. I do believe that Chad Chapin will get past, because these cars are really working well. Todd Bodine looking on the inside of Green now.
Good scramble for second. That is for position. Todd Bodine, who is currently second in the NASCAR Busch Series point standings, but he is second to a Winston Cup regular. So for all intents and purposes, he is the point leader, since obviously the Winston Cup fellows will not run all the races. And who is the guy right behind them in the points? The guy who's alongside of him on the racetrack, Jeff Green.
Oh, and if you can remember a couple of years back when Randy LaJoie and Todd Bodine had that great battle all the way down to right to the end of the year, and Todd Bodine had a record. Oh, we have the leader in trouble.
Down the round they go. And a little extra love tap or 2 or 3 as everybody gets stacked up, and we've got caution on the speedway. Look at that.
Where do you go to get out of this?
Looks like Broadway.
Adam Petty in the log jam there, can't go anywhere. Todd Bodine has a lot of damage to the front of his car.
There you see Adam Petty coming at you.
Left front dragging on that car very hard. It'll probably blow that tire out before he gets back around to the pit area.
Jay Sauter involved, the 43. There's Petty. Well, I don't want to say we told you so, but you certainly saw it coming, didn't you?
Boy, when they're racing that close and that pushing and shoving, things happen. Jeff Green's got a lot of damage to the nose of his car, but it seems to be rolling pretty free.
Watch again, off turn number 4.
Jeff Green gets in the back of Chad Chaffin, and you can see Bodine gets in there. Tim Cedawa goes up to the outside. Hornaday spins.
Look at that. Everybody gets sandwiched in the middle there. I mean, if you're on the racetrack, you were involved. Watch it again. Jeff Green will come up and pa-boom.
Right there, Chad Chaffin in trouble, goes to the inside. Now, just look back there. This is a massive traffic jam with nowhere to go.
Of course, Todd Bodine had no chance to check up. Nobody had any chance, really. So, caution at lap 242. Here's your sign. Glenn Jarrett.
And Todd Bodine brings his car in. They take the rubber hammers to the front of it, trying to beat the nose down. This aerodynamically, that's going to create some problems, even though we're on a short track with the nose cave weighing up like that. They're also trying to get the hood up to see if there is damage to the radiator. So a lot of work being done on Todd's car right now. The front tires look to be pointed in the right direction. I don't see a toe-in problem yet, but there's so many of them around the front of them, I can't tell. 36 car Tim Feeder was down and way close by. Let's go to Randy.
Well, I'll be shocked if Chad Chaffin doesn't have a toe-in problem. He did complain. He thought the steering was knocked awry on that car. Left side damage there. The 10 car in behind Chad. We documented his damage. Not real bad on Jeff Green's car. They did not put a string on it or anything. Of course, they haven't had a lot of time here on pit road. He's down and away. Likewise for Adam Petty. Fluid pouring out of the front of Adam Petty's car. He could be done here in moments.
Tough break because Adam Petty had himself a good run going. Yeah, he went right to the garage area. Again, if you were on the racetrack, you were involved in this accident. More when we come back. ASA AC Delco Challenge Series. Tonight, the Discount Auto Parts 300 live from Lanier National Speedway in Gainesville, Georgia. Former motorcycle champ Ricky Johnson starting from the pole. Our live coverage of the ASA starts tonight at 9 Eastern and Pacific on TNN Sports. And, of course, race day tomorrow. Rick Benjamin with a full boatload of coverage and all the guys. Coverage of a busy weekend. The preview of the Winston Cup race in Martinsville. The kart champ cars in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Highlights of this race here in Nashville. We'll update you on what finally with the trucks in Martinsville today. The ASA highlights all coming up. Race day tomorrow at 11 Eastern here on TNN Sports. Let's go downstairs to Glenn.
Well, guys, Todd Bodine came back in, and they changed all 4 tires. The big problem they had to begin with, because I told you all that work they were doing on the nose of the car, it had pushed the water temperature up about 25, 30 degrees hotter than what it had been. When they got all that sheet metal away from it, water temperature went back down. They're not sure about the toe-in on the car. Todd said he just hadn't run it, he hadn't run up to speed yet, so he doesn't know. But they did put 4 fresh tires on that car.
Well, I could see one thing. The ductwork on the front that takes the air to the radiator itself is destroyed, so it'll be tough to keep that car cool enough.
Outside. Clear. Clear after the 48.
Randy LaJoy, who brought out the very first caution flag of the day, being shown as the race leader right now as everybody got shuffled up. There's LaJoy, the number 1, that red and white machine. He is the leader.
Mike McLaughlin is in second. Ricky Hendricks has fought his way all the way back from a lap down to 3rd place.
Quite a run for Ricky Hendrick, doing a super job as we go back downstairs. A lot of guys behind the wall.
Well, Adam Petty is certainly behind the wall. It was a radiator. That's what all that fluid was on pit road. They've already got the old radiator out, new radiator in. It'll be a matter of, I'd say, less than 15 or 20 laps, and they'll have this car back out there. One other update on the 10 car. They said that thing may be pushing some water. Jeff Green as well. Water temp at 220, which is borderline, but they possibly could be pushing some water on that car from that wreck.
So a lot of guys having some problems down on the pit lane. Blaze Alexander jumping the restart moments ago, being black flagged by NASCAR. Randy LaJoie for the first time today, the race leader. Remember, he's the guy who told us earlier that he really wanted that guitar, that trophy they give to the winners here.
Yeah, that was always amazing to me. They gave me a guitar, and I said, I can't even carry a cassette without it going bad. Much less singing with the guitar.
The stop-and-go penalty has been assessed at lap 254 to Blaze Alexander after jumping the start. Mike McLaughlin, he's in second. You see the race leader just ahead of him, Randy LaJoie.
Boy, Mike McLaughlin right there running along great. Ricky Hendrick's giving him a lot of heat there. Great run for Ricky Hendrick.
That's him in the 24.
And that's heavy company.
Yeah,
Mike McLaughlin has won here before. In the 24 there, he's basically, well, he is a rookie, and he's doing a great job. But he cut his teeth at a great racetrack pretty much like this. He used to race over at Concord Speedway, and that's brought out some great drivers in the past also.
Sure has. Though, each short track is not the same, but the concept is certainly the same. Winding towards 64 remaining as the leader LaJoie goes to the inside.
Even the leader there, you can see he's got a lot of damage to the car, but the basic part of the race car where the wheels are rolling are in good shape. So that's what you got to have on short track. You start beating the fenders in on the tires and you have a lot of problems.
Jason Leffler in the middle of that mix there, the 18. He is a lap down, that green car. Then you've got McLaughlin, then you've got Ricky Hendrick.
Imagine Ricky Hendrick to go back home and call Jeff and say, you know, I did pretty good in the 24 this weekend.
Yeah. Jeff, of course, being Jeff Gordon. Owns the team, giving him a lot of input, too. There you see just a tenth of a second of that. From second back to third. We've seen Casey Atwood lead today. Jeff Green, Chad Chapman, John Bodine, Randy LaJoie. Now there's the span back to the 3 of Ron Hornaday. He's in fourth. He's a second behind McLaughlin and Ricky Hendrick. There is Ron Hornaday.
Hornaday showing a little battle weary there on the left rear, but that's where it does not count at all, the rear bumper. You don't care how much damage you have back here, as long as you keep the running area good.
He was running 6th at Texas last week, Hornaday, if you watched that race or attended. And they had that late pit stop that dropped him back to 17th. But good race team right there. The former champion of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
See some of these cars limping around on the inside. These are cars that have been involved in quite a few wrecks that we've had today on the Speedway here at Nashville.
And there you see a full view of Ricky Hendrick, and look at some of those youngsters. Some are behind the wall now, but
you know, I'm not sure that second to third place car, they're catching our leader, Randy LaJoie, right now. This could be a good shootout at the end here.
It's 0.6 of a second right now from LaJoie back to that group that's closing. For Randy, the laps can't go by quickly enough. We'll have it for you on TNN. Randy LaJoie, he's got a half second on Mike McLaughlin and Ricky Hendrick. There they are. Not even a half second anymore.
Not anymore. It's about 10 car lengths. They're closing in on LaJoie. This could be exciting. It is exciting. What am I mean?
Look at this here. This is a good battle here. You've got 10th place, the 61, Hutch Strickland. 11th place, 12th. You see the numbers in the telemetry on Bobby Hillen. Running in the 12th spot.
About 121 or 2 miles an hour down the back straightaway. And you can see the RPMs are right up there with everyone else. So Bobby has not had good track position, but he's ran very well all day long.
Those guys are 6.5 seconds behind the race leader, Randy LaJoie. And that's 10th, 11th, 12th, then 13th to 37, that blue and green machine. Kevin Grubb, he's in that mix. You know who else is doing well in that pack, too, is that blue car, Derek Gilchrist. That Channel Lock car, been involved in a couple of incidents today, but taken over from Dave wheel and giving it a decent run.
Jay Sauter's still plugging away in the 43 there on the outside. He just got by Gilchrist, and just in front of them, Chad Chaffin, who was leading the race and was involved in that spin not long ago, back up to full song. He's really flying around this racetrack.
Adam Petty is back on the racetrack. Dick Trickle is back on the racetrack. All of those fellas involved in that massive tie-up there in turn 4 at lap 242. There's Adam, made a quick lap and comes to the attention of the crew for some new Goodyears. But he has returned. So now Michael Rich is still off the track. Michael Rich, Mark Day, they were in, and so too still Mark Green and Borkowski and Lyndon Eaton have been off the track for a good bit of the afternoon.
Just looking at Chad Chaffin's car is not turning like it did before the wreck, so you would have to suspect he may have knocked the toe end out on the car. It's not turning like it was when he was leading the race.
We are live in Nashville. If you're just tuning in, final 45 laps set to unfold. Look at that.
I'm going to tell you right now, and they say it's not a contact sport. Forget about that.
Did you like that element of the sport?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I love the short track, and I think everybody who drives race cars liked it. But look at the damage on these cars.
Yeah.
Well, Bodyman's not happy right now as he watches this on TV.
Except it is job security.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work ahead of him. Talladega Super Speedway. Not far from here. That's upcoming. A lot of activity for the NASCAR Busch Series. This is only the 8th of 32 races for the NASCAR teams. The Touchstone Energy 300 in Talladega coming up on the 15th, and it's out to Fontana, California, Richmond International Raceway, then back here on TNN for the May 13th event at New Hampshire International Speedway. That's the next month for these machines. We saw him quickly up ahead there. He's running, but not nearly as well. Riding with Stedman Marlin.
You could see the sun's a little bit of a problem coming up out of turn 4 there.
But Randy LaJoy continues to lead. Took the top spot at lap 245.
This is me, and Mom.
Randy LaJoy is the leader, and if you've not gotten enough short track action yet, don't forget Rick Benjamin, Steve Burns, they're standing by at the Lanier National Speedway in Gainesville, Georgia tonight. It is the ASA AC Delco Challenge Series, the Discount Auto Parts 300. That is this evening, live, 9 Eastern and Pacific, the ASA on TNN Sports. Hope you can check it out this evening. See Randy LaJoy kind of waving as he goes by.
Well, he ought to wave, because when they hit traffic, Randy LaJoy looked like he was in a gear that nobody else had. You see right there, about 124 miles an hour down the straightaway and close to 8,000 on the RPM. Randy LaJoy is just flying around this racetrack. But at one time, it looked like the clock and those guys were closing in. But there is a tremendous battle just behind there. For a second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth are right in line there. This is going to be a dogfight to the end.
Going to be a good finish here, but is anybody going to be able to chase down Randy LaJoy from this pack? LaJoy, if you were with us a year ago, I know it might be tough to remember, but he is driving the same car here today that ran so well here a year ago before he had engine failure, and the day ended. You know, it's funny how your fortunes go in this business. As you see McLaughlin running in second, and some scrambling off turn 4, up into the wall, the number 33 of Range.
And the yellow is flying.
Caution on the speedway. There goes Randy LaJoy's lead as Tony Raines, a graduate of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and the American Speed Association, finds the wall in turn 4. We're under caution for the 10th time at lap 292. I was about to say how your fortunes change in this business. Remember back when we came on the air at 3 Eastern, LaJoy spun lap number 7 off of turn number 2, went way back, and you said, well, that's not a good sign. And here he is leading with a handful of laps to go.
Yeah, and to the drivers back on the short tracks around the country, that just proves that you never give up. If you have a good race car, you can make up anything on these short tracks. I've watched Richard Petty come from 7 laps down one time because his car was that dominant.
So Randy LaJoie, within 28 laps of the finish, back to Music City after this. Flag is in the air just a half lap ago. Welcome back to Nashville. Lap 296.
Great battle for third. Hornaday just went right in front of Ricky Hendricks there and cut him off and took that spot away.
Then the 53, Hank Parker Jr. That black, orange, and yellow machine being challenged by Tim Fedua. Everybody's getting down to it now. After slowed 10 times by caution. This is for position. That's for fifth. Fedua. And the 53 of Hank Parker Jr. The 24, Ricky Hendrick, trying to do his best to hang on to fourth spot. Glenn, what a show.
Well, it's a great show, and his dad is one of the most excited people here. He's got his eyes. You can see him following every move that Ricky makes. We're going to try to get a word with Rick Hendrick, but he is too involved right now in what's going on the racetrack. But I tell you what, they are really excited down here. They've been coaching each other to protect his line, to be aggressive. He's got just as good a race car as any of those other guys running around him. Fun to see a young guy like that having a great day, and you'll never see a more prouder pop than Rick Hendrick. And it's also good to see Rick Hendrick here at the racetrack.
Always good to see him around, and you're right. Proud daddy to say the very, very least. 20 laps to go. The leader is LaJoie. On this pack of traffic here, including Ricky Hendrick, Randy LaJoie has 2 3/10 seconds. So for the moment, these guys aren't threatening for the race lead, but they're certainly trying to protect what they've got. As LaJoie, you know, the big advantage now is that he's got a lot of clear sailing behind him. Watch what happened seconds ago with Hank Parker Jr., the 53.
Tim Fedua goes up. They make contact. He hits the outside wall very lightly there, coming off turn 2.
Back to live action at lap 3:02. LaJoie has 1 second, 1.066. At this very moment on McLaughlin. Another full second on Hornaday.
Eli, we have a car on the back straightaway. I don't know whether it's going to make it all the way back around and make a caution. No, I think he has enough speed. It's the 50 car there, trying to make it back to the pit area. Tony Roper, but he was just barely moving along. He's going to make it back to pit road.
Around McLaughlin to his 57 of Jason Keller. Keller's machine 2 laps down and 26th right now. Man, this really has been a survival of the fittest today, hasn't it?
It has that.
My goodness.
And when one steps down, 3 more step up. It's been an action-packed race. Right now, McLaughlin is not closing on LaJoie, but I am seeing Hornaday close in, and Ricky Hendricks is closing in.
Trouble off turn 2. Chad Chaffin. Here comes Stedman Marlin. And caution is on the speedway for the 11th time at lap 306 of 320.
You see the radiator is just crushed in the 42 there, Stedman Marlin. He did everything he could, but on the high side of the racetrack there's rubber buildup. He had the brakes locked, but it was just like sliding on glass. He couldn't get the car stopped. Run into the 77 there, Chad Chaffin.
And look at that. The drivers have come to a stop.
This is what I'm talking about. All this part up in here. Look at that buildup on the high side of the racetrack, and you can see where the tires were sliding.
Did you notice, too, when they came to a stop, the drivers' compartments were against one another? One of those quick
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? Good to see you. Nice. Yes.
You know, you talk about guys going from the penthouse to the outhouse and back again. Here's a guy who led for a good part of the day. Chad led lap 97 through 133, led 211 through 242.
Chad spins up the racetrack. Now you can see Stedman with the wheels locked.
Yeah, nowhere to go.
Car would not even slow up.
Let's see what the 61 did and all that. Don't know if we can see. Hutch Strickland was right there in the middle of all that, too. That's the orange car going by there to your right.
Well, somebody got into the 77 there and turned him up the racetrack, and that was from getting hit from coming off the corner there.
With Stedman Marlin. Almost looks like Hutch Strickland was the guy who got into the 77.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Oh, my. Watch that first replay again. See the 61? Yeah, his hood is bowed up. Now, whether Chad had to check up or Hutch just hit him, whatever, I dare say we'll find out in the post-mortems, but that's what happened. So, caution for the 11th time. We're at lap 307. Back in a moment. Is Randy LaJoie continuing as the race leader. We're at lap 310. 10 laps to go. Now, about the Bryant Cool Driver of the Race Award. If you're burning hot, call Bryant to the rescue at 1-888-999-BRYANT.
Jason Schuler, you're riding with him right through there. Got slowed up, missed everything. That is a cool move.
So he picks up the Bryant Cool Driver of the Race Award. And
hey, Eli, let me explain. That was done a while ago. That wasn't that cool move just then.
No, he was involved in problems earlier in the day, but yeah, I tell you, it's been interesting. It's great to see the younger drivers doing well here today. Of course, we'll see whether the veteran, Randy LaJoie, can hang on for a victory. What we're going to do is kind of eavesdrop as Matt Abernathy gives him the 1-to-go signal. Inside
8 laps to go when you
laps.
take the green. 8 laps.
Being informed of the scenario, 8 laps when they take the green, and it is a single file restart inside of 10 laps. Only the lead lap cars up front, so the leaders won't have to deal with race traffic now.
And one of the greatest restart artists in the world in third place there, Ron Hornaday, he's just like Dale Earnhardt. When they drop that green, he always gets a great restart.
LaJoie, McLaughlin, Hornaday, Ricky Hendrick, and Fedua.
Don't jump now.
Green flag.
Kevin Harvick there under Fedua. They made a little contact there.
McLaughlin and Hornaday trying to hang with LaJoie, the leader. Ricky Hendrick there in fourth.
Hornaday looking on the inside there of McLaughlin's car, the second place car. As they come off the corner, you can see McLaughlin's car kick out just a little bit.
Hornaday has little debris hanging from the back of the car. And again, who doesn't?
And Ricky Hendrick looks on the outside of Hornaday there. He hasn't given up on the idea of maybe getting the third out of this, as Fedua looks to the inside of Hendricks as they come down the front straightaway.
That's Fedua in the 36. He's running in the 5th spot.
Hornaday's trying to make a move on the inside, but he has a cagey veteran right there, Mike McLaughlin in second place. One of the better short track drivers in the country also. Fedua goes high in the racetrack there.
Meanwhile, LaJoie's
5
crew.
to go this time by 10 car lengths.
Indeed, 10 car lengths, which means 9/10 of a second on this Nashville Speedway layout. There you see the spread.
Tim Fedua went from 4th place all the way to 7th on that one slide in the corner there.
Hank Parker Jr. in the 53 running 6th. Jay Sauter in the 43 running 7th. Then Fedua in line in 8th, ahead of Jeff Purvis 9th. David Green is 10th.
Here comes Harvick in the 2 car trying to make a move on Ricky Hendricks as they go through the corner. Ricky Hendricks gets a great run up out of the corner, but they're still welded right together.
That's for 4th place. LaJoie's lead, meanwhile, is up to 1 1/10. Here goes the battle for 4th.
Harvick has the position in the preferred line, sees the 24. No, he comes up. That's a slide job there. And you can see Hank Parker Jr. now working on Hendricks.
20 car length lead, 20 car length. Low car on the bottom.
Everybody watching the battles behind LaJoie because Randy does have 1 2/10. Here he comes to the flag stand. White flag, half mile to go for Randy LaJoie. Looks like that streak's going to continue here with another winner in Nashville. A different winner every year as the NASCAR Busch Series says so long to this venerable racing facility.
Get the guitar ready. Here he comes off turn 4.
They're strumming it in victory lane. Randy LaJoie wins. McLaughlin. Oh, and around goes Hank Parker. And everybody stacks up behind him. Hillman is in the wall. Parker backs into the wall. Debris flying. The way they cross the line will be LaJoie, McLaughlin, Hornaday third, Harvick fourth. Fifth will be Ricky Hendrick. Jay Sauter crosses the line sixth, ahead of Purvis in seventh. David Green eighth. Todd Bodine ninth. Jimmy Johnson came across the line in the 10th spot. 11th will be Fedua, and then it was all lost in the smoke and the dust. But victory in the grasp of Randy LaJoie, who may just turn a guitar lick or two for us.
Look at this. Great burnout. Looks like John Force when he's mad.
And speaking of John Force, tomorrow, NHRA Winston Drag Racing from Las Vegas, right here on TNN Sports. I'll be there, and to get there, I've got to leave right now to run to the airport, catch a flight, and Mike Hogwood is going to take you through the post-race as our post-race host here in Nashville, Tennessee. Randy LaJoie gets the win. Our congratulations to him. Buddy, I will see you down the road in just a few weeks, and taking you through the post-race will be Mike Hogwood as I head out to join the whole crew at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Quite a race here today.
There was that. I really enjoyed it. Short track racing is very exciting, and right down to the checkered flag, you never knew who was going to do what.
I'm going to toss it down to Glenn Jarrett. Then Mike will take you the rest of the way through the post-race, down to victory lane.
Okay, thanks, Eli. And a jubilant Randy LaJoie crawls out. We had a conversation before this race started. You said if the brakes went your way, you could come from the rear. And by golly, you did it. Great job, Randy.
Thank you. And I want to thank Bob Evans Restaurants. We tried putting him in victory lane last year, and we didn't get it. This old Billy Hess car should have won 3 or 4 races last year. The brakes weren't good our way today. Qualifying messed up. Had the same setup under the car, and I spun out. First, I don't know, whenever it was, beginning of the race. Kind of got us behind, so we got that set of tires off. We got some other Goodyears on this thing, and we made a long run at the end with these Goodyear tires, so Goodyear had a great tire. Can't say enough about these Phoenix Racing guys. I've been pretty critical on them for bad pit stops, but they cut some good ones today. I thought is it snowing?
Well, if it is, it's snowing beer. One thing I want to ask you, all those restarts right there at the end, when you finally got in the lead, man, that had to be nerve-wracking.
No, not really, because they said, you know, we were kind of pulling away. I could see we had a good race car, and the guys that had pitted, the brakes went our way. Hey, it was a good, safe race. Once I had my family back home. And, man, we're going home. I got me a guitar. Yeah!
Well, look right behind you to your left, and there is that guitar you've been waiting on, man.
This is perfect. This is a great trophy. Last race supposedly here. Man, this is awesome.
Congratulations again to Randy LaJoie. He came through when the chips were down. Randy LaJoie, now let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, nobody needed a great run here today more than Mike McLaughlin. Mike, I know you were hanging on there at the end, but you did an excellent job. You guys needed this today. Boy,